Howdy y'all, and welcome to this special June outlook. Hard to believe it's already June already. This year's flying by. Start off, we're going to look at some interesting fun facts and folklore for this month. Did you know that June is actually named after Juno, the Roman goddess of marriage, making it a popular wedding month? Its birth flowers, rose and honeysuckle, stand for love, while birthstones, pearl and alexandrite, represent purity and luck. Old sayings like, if June is sunny, crops grow early, show its farming importance. The full strawberry moon, which is going to be this month, is named by Native Americans for ripe strawberries, which lights up the night. So let's go ahead and get into the forecast of what we could expect for the month of June. Now keep in mind that anything over a week out is virtually impossible to forecast, so please take this forecast with a grain of salt. Now first, we're going to take a look at our temperature anomalies and our precipitation anomalies. We're also going to take a look at the sea surface temperatures as well, since hurricane season is on June 1st. To keep this simple for y'all, basically below averages here in the brown, above averages here in the bluish greens. And it's looking like to start off June, it's going to be a little bit dry here in the Midwest, parts of the Northeast, and part of the South, while the west central part of the country is going to be above average. Now as we head into the middle parts of the month, it's looking like the Southwest is going to be really drying out, while the rest of the country is looking to be above average. And this could mean we could be dealing with a very soggy June here in the eastern part of the country with some potential severe weather, and I'll show you why here in a little bit. And it's just looking like it's going to be a very soggy month here out east in the central and northeast part of the country, but really dry here in the west coast, southwest, and a little bit of the northwest as well as we head into the end of June and into July. Now for kicks and giggles here, let's take a look at July 4th. Now this is well too far out to give an accurate forecast, but if we take a look at this, we can see that it's going to be pretty wet here in the eastern and central part of the country and dry out west. But of course I will have an Independence Day forecast up at the end of June, which is pretty much right around the corner. It'll be here before you know it. But basically, if we take a look at the experts at the Climate Prediction Center, they're showing us that the eastern part of the country, including the northeast and southeast, can be well above average, while the western part of the country, here in the orange, is going to be well below average. Now, equal chances means either above or below average. I'm thinking the central and eastern part of the country is going to be well above average, while the western part of the country is going to be below average. And Alaska, can't forget about y'all. I'm thinking the whole entire state of Alaska is going to be above average. And some reason they don't have Hawaii on here. I'll cover y'all here in a little bit. I'm thinking it's going to be above average down there. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures of what we could expect, at least above and below average temperatures anyway. Now it's looking like to start off June, we could be a little bit cool here in the south central, eastern, and northeastern part of the country, while the north central and western part of the country is going to be above average. Expect this to change as we head into the middle parts of June, with the eastern part of the country coming into above average temperatures. So basically, beginning of June, we're going to come into some cold temperatures, and then it's going to warm up, and it's going to be dry and then wet, which basically means we're going to be dealing with severe weather potentially as we head into the middle parts of June in the eastern part of the country. So I'll keep y'all informed on that. And it's looking like the western part of the country is going to be coming in on some below average temperatures, but expect that to change as we head into the end of the month and into potentially the beginning of July as well. And as we take a look at the experts at the Climate Prediction Center of what they think, they're saying that much of the country is going to be well above average, especially down here in the southwest where it's going to be dry for the whole entire month of June, it's looking like. So it's looking like wildfire risks are going to start to be elevated down there, unfortunately, so that's very unfortunate. But for the month of June, I'm expecting the whole month to be very hot for much of the country and stormy over here in the eastern half. So basically, the start off June could be cool and dry here out east, but then it's going to start to warm up and stay warm in the middle and end of June, which is going to cause severe weather. So be aware of that, y'all. Hurricane season on top of severe weather means a very active month ahead. And speaking of hurricane season, let's take a look at the projected sea surface temperatures here in the Atlantic Basin. Now, of course, hurricane season starts on June 1st. When we take a look out here in the Gulf and a little bit of the Atlantic, it's going to be well above average, so could expect some very warm sea surface temperatures out there. But, of course, here in the main development region and just west of Africa, it could be very cold. So, it doesn't look like anything's going to be forming in the near term, but I would expect the sea surface temperatures to start really warming up as we head into the end of June. And typically right around June 10th time frame is when we typically see our first named storm here in the Atlantic region. And the reason why we're not going to be seeing any is because we're going to have the Saharan dust out here in the main development region, which is going to suppress any development. And it's going to be a little bit cool to start as well. So although the Gulf and a little bit of the Atlantic is going to be warmer than average, The main development region is going to be cooler than average. It could be coming in on Saharan dust, which is going to inhibit any sort of activity. So it could be a slow start, but it was the same way last year as well. In the Atlantic, we got our first named storm, I think, right around September. I could be wrong on that, but we had our first major hurricane right around that time frame anyway. So it takes one big storm to have a big hurricane season, so keep that in mind, y'all. Now, the Pacific Basin, we already do have our first named storm out there, which is a tropical depression out here in just west of Mexico. And of course, it's going to come into some very cold sea surface temperatures. And out here by Hawaii for the month of June, I'm not expecting any sort of activity at all because it's going to be so cold out there in those waters, except for here in the Eastern Pacific. So anything that forms in the Eastern Pacific is not going to be impacting Hawaii at all for the month of June. So that's some good news at least. But if anything forms out here in the Eastern Pacific, could be coming into some very favorable sea surface temperatures. So basically, in the summary breakdown per region, I would expect in the Northeast to come into some average temperatures with slightly above normal rainfall. Some stuff you can do, some car shows. On June 1st, you got the Waldrick Community Alliance Car Show here in New Jersey. On June 6th to 8th, you got the Street Rod Nationals in York, Pennsylvania. Some historic fun activities to do. You can explore the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. It's perfect for rainy days. You can walk the Freedom Trail in Boston. They have some indoor activities available if it starts to rain up there. The Midwest is going to be near normal to slightly above normal temperatures. Equal chances or slightly above normal rainfall. Could be coming in on a very stormy June, by the way. Some car shows you can do, both on June 1st, is the Northern Star Mustang Club car show in Apple Valley, Minnesota. And the second one is the Resurrection Lutheran Church show in Minnesota. Now I know there's more car shows than this, but these are some ones I can find anyway, some big ones for the month of June. Some historical fun you can do. You can visit the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. They have some indoor activities if it rains. Chicago has some museums up there. Great for any sort of weather. The South, expect above normal temperatures, equal chances of rainfall, especially in southern Florida, and could be coming in on some hurricanes potentially as we head into the end of June because of favorable sea surface temperatures and the Saharan dust starting to go away a little bit. Some car shows you can do in the South. You got the Motor Enclave Car Show in Tampa. And another one on June 7th, you got the Downtown Arlington Classic Car Show in Texas. On June 14th, you got the Pigeon Forge Rod Run. And some historic fun, you can go up in the Smoky Mountains and cool off if it's too hot. You can visit the Alamo in San Antonio. Some morning events and evening events are going to beat the heat. Out west, above normal temperatures and below normal rainfall. Car shows you can attend is on June 14th, you got the Knights of Columbus Show in Huntington Beach, California. June 28th, you got the Greenwood Car Show in Seattle. Some historic stuff you could do is tour the Yosemite National Park in California or even the Grand Canyon. I would advise going in the morning for cooler temperatures if you don't want to brave the heat. And you could tour the Alcatraz Island in San Francisco, perfect for dry, warm days. Now, Hawaii didn't cover y'all much, but expect near normal temperatures and above normal rainfall. Some car shows you can do down there. There's really no specific events. And some historical fun. You can visit Pearl Harbor. They have some indoor museums if it starts to rain. And of course some volcanoes, you can visit those as well, as y'all are known for volcanoes down there. Alaska, expect above normal temperatures in the south, near normal in the north, above normal rainfall in the southeast. Car shows, you got the Rev Alaska Car Show on June 1st. And some historical fun stuff to do, explore Denali National Park, and take a Sitka historical tour. Rain gear for the southeast showers though. So now that we know it's pretty much going to be hot for the whole entire country, it's peak baseball season, so make sure you hydrate out there if you're heading to any baseball games this June. And baseball season is known for its hot dogs, with over 3 million hot dogs consumed at baseball games in June alone, based on 20 million for the season. And that's over 15% for the month of June. Now, top teams like the Dodgers lead with over 400,000 hot dogs eaten, the Dodger dog, followed by the Yankees with over 225,000. The Nathan Famous. Now in Yankee Stadium, they sell over 10,000 hot dogs per game, which fuels over 40,000 fans. So that's an interesting stat y'all most likely did not know. And of course, other than hot dogs, we got the peak barbecue season, which this is actually the second most to July, with 51% of Americans grilling this month. To July is 55%. Father's Day is a grilling peak with over 34% cooking outdoors, especially in the Midwest and in the South, known as the barbecue belt. Top food like hamburgers are favored by 63% of grillers, with Memphis cooking slow smoked pork ribs with tangy tomato-based sauce, a Father's Day staple. And in Texas, of course, y'all are known for your brisket down there, dry rubbed and smoked for 12 hours. Most popular and actually in Austin, Texas. Fun fact about this is 80% of U.S. households own a grill, and 30% grill 2 to 3 times per week, with 89.5 million using A1 sauce or Sweet Baby Ray's in 2020. And did you know that A1 sauce was actually created back in the Civil War? And of course, Father's Day is on June 15th. It's a heartfelt tribute to the fathers out there with barbecues, fishing, and family gatherings. Launched in 1910 by Senora Smart Dodd in Spokane, Washington. It's a national tradition with over 34% of Americans grilling out, and 60% give experience-based gifts like outdoor adventures. Some gift ideas include grilling tools, sports tickets, a cold beer, or even a personal card. Now, of course, Mother's Day, that people give their mothers even more than what they do the fathers for some reason. On Mother's Day, they typically take them out for dinner, back rubs, and all that sort of nonsense. Fathers, we just get cold beer and have to cook. So, I don't know how that makes any sense, but we just get a good pat on the back and say, good job. So, it's kind of backwards, but Father's Day is coming up, y'all. Celebrate your dads out there. They're very important. Now, the summer solstice is coming up as well. June 21st at 10:42 p.m. marks the Northern Hemisphere's longest day, with over 15 hours of daylight in New York City and 24 hours in Fairbanks, Alaska. It's due to Earth's tilt at 23.4 degrees. It's a pivotal weather event which increases solar activity and triggers summer storm patterns. Historical context: beyond Stonehenge, Chaco Canyon's Sun Dagger in New Mexico, dating back to 900 to 1150 CE, aligns with solstice sunlight, used by ancestral Puebloans for crop planting. The solstice influenced ancient calendars in the Egypt New Year, tied to Sirius's heliacal rising. Now, of course, did mention this earlier, solar angle boosts convective activity, increasing thunderstorm frequency in the Midwest and Southeast, with June averaging 20 to 30% of annual lightning strikes from the summer solstice. So basically, this is one of the reasons why the middle and end of the month we could be coming in on some severe weathers because of the summer solstice. Now, of course, there are some celebrations that occurred on the summer solstice up in Alaska. Since there's 24 hours of daylight, there's a baseball game that draws over 10,000 people at midnight. Now, of course, down in New Mexico, down by Santa Fe, there's a solstice fair that features Native Americans that dance, and some solar art which celebrates the regional heritage down there. California, there's also a parade which attracts over 5,000 people. Now, some folklore that y'all most likely did not know. Now, Stonehenge, Druids believe that the solstice sunrise opens a spiritual portal with over 30,000 visitors annually. In Scandinavia, you have the Midsummer's Seven Flower Ritual, which promises bonfires which protect crops. Slavic Kupala Night, wreath floating predicts marriage. A fern blooming only on solstice night grants wisdom. Native American Sundance, Lakota ceremonies honor the sun's renewal with days-long fasting. In pagan and Christian traditions, St. John's wort garland repels solstice spirits, linked to St. John's Day on June 24th. Now, there is some astronomical events in June, starting off with the full moon, which glows bright on June 5th. June 15th, we have the new moon, great for stargazing. June 23rd, you can spot the moon near Uranus in Taurus with binoculars. June 27th, June Boutids, meteor shower peaks 1 to 2 meteors per hour. And there's also the Starberry Moon as well for this month. Some missions that are going to be going on. We got the Hakuto R mission in Japan, and we got the Axiom 4 on June 8th, which is related to SpaceX. Another one that's going to be launching some military satellites. And we got a hypersonic testing thing going on, and we got the Constellation launched by China. And here is something interesting that was actually most recent. Did you know that NASA actually found out that we could be in a black hole? There's some properties that mirror the Big Bang, hinting universes within universes. So we could be in a black hole, y'all. More updates will follow, of course, so stay tuned. So now that we know all that, let's go ahead and get into some significant past weather events for the month of June. Now, starting off with the year without a summer in 1816. Now, imagine snow in June, y'all. After Mount Tambora's 1815 eruption, volcanic ash chilled the globe, causing crop failures and famine. And did you know this gloomy weather inspired Mary Shelley to pen Frankenstein during a rainy Swiss getaway? So we had a year without the summer back in 1816. Now next we have the Tracy, Minnesota tornado. It's an F5 tornado with over 300 plus mile-an-hour winds on June 13th, 1968. It killed over 9 people, injured 125, and destroyed 111 homes. Debris was found 25 miles away, including a child's tricycle in a neighboring county. So there's a strong tornado that occurred for the month of June. And we had a hurricane that occurred on June 14th to 25th of 1972, made landfall near Panama City, Florida on June 19th as a Category 1. And it stalled over Pennsylvania and New York, dumping over 16 to 20 inches of rain. Wilkes-Barre River hit 40.9 feet, flooding 25,000 homes, killing over 122 people, which caused over $2 billion in damage in 1972 dollars. Fun fact, it was the first cyclone to exceed $1 billion in damage, with local stories of residents rowing boats through downtown Wilkes-Barre. Next one here, we have the Great Midwest Flood, June and August of 1993. June rains flooded 9 states, with Des Moines receiving 8.4 inches in 1 week alone. Levees failed, submerging 23 million acres, caused $15 billion in damage and 50 deaths. Fun fact, the Mississippi River at St. Louis flooded for 144 days, with farmers losing entire corn crops from the Great Flood of 1993. The last one here, New York heat wave on June 25th and 30th of 1966. Temperatures hit 102 degrees at LaGuardia Airport, with 90% humidity causing 14 deaths from heat stroke. Power outages left 500,000 without air conditioning. And a fun fact about this is the heat wave prompted New York City to open its first public cooling centers still in use from past weather events. Now from significant weather events to some wartime weather history for the month of June. We have the Battle of Monmouth in 1778 during the Revolutionary War on June 28th. In Freehold, New Jersey, they saw 100-degree heat recorded at nearby Philadelphia with 80% humidity. British and American soldiers collapsed from heat stroke. Private Elijah Fisher's diary notes, men fainting by dozens. A draw, but Washington's retreat under moonlight proved American resilience. Fun fact, heat killed 50 soldiers more than combat. Now the next one here is the Battle of Cold Harbor, 1864, during the Civil War. On June 1st, rains in Virginia dumped 1.5 inches in 24 hours per Union weather logs, turning trenches into 3-foot deep mud. Union Private John Smith wrote of slipping in mire, guns useless. On June 3rd, 7,000 troops fell. Fun fact, muddy trenches drowned at least 10 soldiers. Next, we have the Battle of Verdun in 1916. On June 7th and 10th, storms dropped 2 inches of rain daily, flooding trenches to waist-deep levels. German Lieutenant Ernst Junger's memoir describes men waiting, rivals resting. Slowed German advances with 700,000 total casualties. Fun fact, mud-trapped artillery delaying attacks by days. And next is one of the biggest weather events in wartime weather history, D-Day in World War II. On June 5th, forecasts showed 25-mile-an-hour winds and 6-foot waves in the English Channel. James Stagg's June 6 prediction of 10 to 15 mile-an-hour winds enabled the landing of 156,000 troops. Private John Steele's paratrooper accounts noted, "Clearing skies saved us." Fun fact, the June 19th storm would have sunk landing craft per the weather forecast that saved D-Day. So we can see on the beaches of Normandy, if they would have stormed the beaches of Normandy a day later, they couldn't have anyways actually, because there was a storm that would have wiped them out, although they were under attack that day. But those were some brave people that day, and we are very grateful for those people. We always remember those people. Even past Memorial Day, we still honor those who gave it all to protect the freedoms we still take for granted each and every day. So basically, to sum up this video, gear up for a stormy June. The Southeast will face frequent thunderstorms, the Midwest braces for some severe storms, and the Southwest battles dry conditions with wildfire risks. Expect heavy rain in the Northeast, wet weather in the Northwest, rainy days in Alaska's south, and trade wind showers in Hawaii. Historic storms like Hurricane Agnes in 1972, which flooded towns and caused $2 billion in damage, reminds us to stay ready and plan your summer adventures wisely, y'all, because we all know that June could be another wild ride as hurricane season is upon us and severe weather could be right on top of it. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this outlook for the month of June. Now I want y'all's feedback. Do you like the longer form content with the fun facts, folklore, and weather history, or do you all want that shortened up a little bit? Because I'm thinking about just leaving the fun facts, folklore, and weather history for the monthly outlooks, while having the weekly forecasts being just about the weather and summing it up for y'all. Let me know in the comment section down below, as any feedback would be greatly appreciated. So again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all y'all for watching, and until next time, never stop forecasting.